Usually, hosting a primetime talk show is a pretty sweet gig, but Trevor Noah and Stephen Colbert don't have it that easy. As Noah reinvents The Daily Show and Colbert reinvents himself, there's intense pressure and no guarantee of success. Adam has more.
It's not clear whose job is tougher, Trevor Noah or Stephen Colbert. Noah needs to make people forget about Jon Stewart and satirize America as an outsider.
So once more, a job Americans rejected is now being done by an immigrant.
And then there's Colbert, who has to make us forget about his own Comedy Central persona.
Welcome to the Daily Show. Thank you very much, everybody.
Colbert's been on the job 4 weeks and showcased some impressive range, including this riveting interview with Joe Biden about death and grief.
I marvel at the ability of people to absorb hurt and just get back up.
And he got absurd with Laura Linney.
Thanks for getting up to make the coffee.
I didn't.
What?
I made this coffee yesterday.
But there have been missteps, like a frustratingly soft interview with Donald Trump.
The money goes out, the drugs come in, we're going to stop it.
Okay, well, that'd be good. That would be good.
Meanwhile, Trevor Noah's had all of 4 days to make The Daily Show his own. Among the highlights, a sharp piece comparing Donald Trump to an African president.
It's our land, and we have taken it.
We'll take our country back.
We will win. We will be winning all the time.
We will have so much winning if I get elected that you may get bored with winning.
I feel like I'm winning right now.
But other bits were less inspiring.
Oh, that's a tiny car. Somebody's undercompensating. I'm saying the Pope is a huge.
Fortunately, it's still early, because if you're explaining the joke, you probably shouldn't be telling it.
All right, Adam, I have a question, serious one. Is anybody actually watching these shows, or are they just getting up in the morning and passing these clips around through YouTube or in our inboxes? Because I have to say, I haven't watched it.
Well, that's how I do it, but I go to bed at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah, me too.
Night. So I got to mention, Josh pointed out that I misused primetime. Technically, Colbert isn't really primetime. What I intended to say, and he's totally right, is, you know, sort of a choice bit of TV real estate, which even if you're not watching it in real time is coveted. 2 quick things that I want to say. Trevor Noah is very interesting because he does have to bring this outsider perspective and make it work. That African president comparison with Trump was a great example of that working. I'm not sure he can do it consistently. It's going to be very interesting.
That's very Jon Stewart-esque.
And with Colbert, I feel like the loss of that you know, buffoonish conservative host personality both liberates him, but also is going to make it harder for him to do his job. The old Colbert would have gone after Trump much harder than he did in that interview, but he also would not have gotten Biden to open up the way he did.
I think it's interesting in that it's hard to judge these two together because even though both the shows are new, Colbert has been a late night talk show host for 10 years, and Trevor Noah has been doing it for 4 days. So I think I've really enjoyed Colbert. I think we find out that his character was 95% him all along, and I think he's made that transition very well. I wonder whether or not a Trump interview on the old Colbert show would have had some of the same soft qualities that the Trump interview did. But I think on the whole, he's done a really nice job. I do wonder about Trevor Noah and how he'll do. I kind of want watching him, the Daily Show formula felt tired to me. It felt like it needed some sort of reinvigoration, and it looked like with the same writing staff and a lot of the same ideas that he's sort of continuing that model as opposed to trying out on his own. But it's early.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Josh. I couldn't believe when I watched The Daily Show, and it was exactly the same format, right down to the moment of Zen. I mean, they need to reinvent this a little bit. They have a new host, a new direction, and instead you've got Trevor Noah playing the part of Jon Stewart. I don't think that's going to work at all. I think they need to mix it up and try something different. He's going to need a moment. Stephen Colbert got very lucky in a way that he had that moment right off the bat with that incredibly moving interview with Joe Biden. And I think that focused people's attention on the show, and now Colbert has to make the most of it, but it grabbed some eyeballs very quickly.
And other people who are alum of the show who've gone on to their own, John Oliver and Larry Wilmore, have reinvented the format to shape both themselves and their own personalities, but to do something different. So he'll figure that out. You know, sometimes you just, you know, those people are used to doing that format. I think in a minute they'll realize, oh, we got a new guy, let's try something else.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they stuck with
It's only been, that's what they rehearsed with while he was there, so nobody's going to throw it out right away, but I bet you it'll change.